Welcome back, everyone, to the Rampage channel. Hope everyone's having an awesome day. And today I wanted to talk to you about Grandmasters. Now, again, when you think of that name, you might think they're just better than 99% of the chess population, which is right? But today I'm going to show you guys 5 of the most craziest Grandmaster blunders you will probably ever see. And this is just part 1. If you guys want a part 2, let me know in the comments. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Let's hop into it. Our first man of the hour is our first two people of the hour is Jan Krzysztof Duda versus Levan Aronian. This is during the Meltwater Champions Chess Tour in 2023. Oh no, sorry, probably earlier because of COVID. It's probably 2022, 2021. And Aronian opened with e4, e6, d4, d5, knight c3, bishop b4, e5. So again, this is called the winnower. It's part of the French, where a lot of people nowadays don't play the winnower because it's considered kind of dangerous. This kind of thing, the Rubens, this is kind of nice way to play the French. And there's also this knight d7 line, and there's also knight f6, the classical variation. But Duda says, no, I want to play this, I want to play the not the Rogozin, I want to play the winnower. E5, c5, a3 takes. Now this is part of all the theory right now, and black plays knight e7. You can also play queen c7 first, and the point of this opening for both sides is for black is to kind of combat on the queen side and to sort of open lines, get castle quickly, and show that white needs to develop pieces. What white says is, I don't need to develop pieces. I'm going to eat all your pawns. I'm going to promote my pawn. I'm going to have enough counterplay down the H file or, down that kind of file. Now, white played queen g7, rook g8, queen h4, cd4, and now white plays knight e2. Now, white plays knight e2 just because he wants to guard the c3, c3 pawn, knight c6, f4. So again, this is all still theory, but I'm trying to break it down to you guys. Because at my level and at my level and your level, we don't need to know all this theory, but at their level, they have to because they're, again, top 1% of chess players. Duda takes queen d3, d4, and d4 is made so that white exchanges more pieces and black has more open lines. And white obviously indulges because it's a free pawn. Takes, bishop d7. And what Duda's trying to do is to castle quickly. We get queen d6, queen a5, queen b4, queen d5. So I think Aronian might have wanted, maybe he just wanted to go home early and with the easy draw. But Duda says, nah, I want to play queen d5. Let's play on. Why not? So now Aronian plays a4. We get knight f5 from Duda. He just wants to activate his knight, maybe go to d4. And white has a lot of options here. White can play queen c4, or he can play bishop d3, but bishop d3 kind of comes at the expense of g2, so that's probably not a great move. So Aronian thinks for a long time, and he plays bishop a3. Now bishop a3 is a very good move. You're trying to go for the e7 square, and some maybe want to get rook d1 soon. And that's all great and everything, but that's a very good move, except for the fact that it blunders mate in 1. Yeah, that's a way to start the video. I don't know what happened, but it happens to the best of us. Queen e2 checkmate. And in 18 moves, Jan Krzysztof Duda gets to go home very early in the Meltwater Champions Chess Tour. Now, number 2 is Carlsen versus Ding. This is the Norway Chess 2024. And Ding was playing in this event, and we get knight f3. Magnus starts with a kind of slow ready system. Maybe it's the morning. He doesn't want to get into something crazy. E4, cd4, d3. And this is kind of the Benoni part of the ready. Wesley So loves to kind of, actually nowadays likes to play this kind of setups where he tries to go for this a3, b4. If he doesn't, he plays rook e1. He likes this Benoni structure for white. I think he's played in St. Louis like multiple times. And Blitz, or maybe Classical 2. Knight g2, castles, knight g5. Now, this is kind of weird to a lot of you because you're probably like, well, the knight goes to g5? What? Yeah, because it's not just because knight g5. If you want to back to e4, and this is kind of the perfect square for white, while black controls the dark squares. So, bishop b7, we get f4, rook b8, queen e2, queen c7, g4, b5. Now, this is a kind of a breakdown of this kind of ready, which is not very common. This kind of ready, white tries to attack on the king side, while black tries to attack on the queen side. I mean, it's kind of just a bloodbath of who's going to get there first. b3 takes. We get rook b6. Maybe Ding wants to swing the rook if everything opens, or maybe he just wants to double up. Maybe bishop a6, rook b8. Knight e4 takes, bishop b7, and now we kind of see Magnus's full-fledged idea when he gets f5 on the board. ef5, gf5, knight e5, and now Magnus plays bishop f4. He could have also played f6, which is a very interesting idea, but maybe he didn't have enough gas in the tank for all of these complications. But bishop h6, and it could look very promising to many of us, but maybe this is something that Magnus wasn't really sure of at the time, and he could slow play it, and he does with bishop f4. He plays bishop f4, and we get f6, rook a1, bishop e4, queen e4. By the way, there's a winter storm warning right now, so if you guys are already have snow in your place, let me know in the comments. It's apparently supposed to go a lot, but, you know, we'll see. So Ding says that I don't want your knight anymore. And Magnus says, okay, bishop pair, yay. Bishop d6, king h1. Also, you cannot take on d4, just to let you guys know, because there is bishop c5, right? So we get king h1, queen c5, bishop g3, rook d8, queen e2, and the players kind of shuffle their pieces around. We get bishop d5, and now Magnus goes for the rook lift with queen f8, rook e4. And now Dinkleren plays an interesting move. He plays rook b2. And what he was probably expecting in this game was that, okay, if you play rook h4, I'm going to play h6, and good luck breaking through. You don't have bishop b3, bishop h6 sacrifices, so yeah, nice try. And you know it's bad, when he plays rook b2, Magnus writes down the move on his score sheet, slowly puts the pencil down, and looks to Ding in confusion, and then he sacrifices the queen with the queen h7. King h7, rook h4. It was never about rook h4 first. He switched the move order, and Dinkleren blunders mate in 2. And these are two of the top chess players we've seen. And Magnus undisputably might have been the GOAT. And Magnus gets a nice win. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I'm speechless, right? Sometimes these kind of things happen. But this video is kind of just shed light into Grandmasters are humans. Number 3, Andre versus Levon. Now, in this case, this was Levon Aronian versus Andre Mendez Machado. And this is a very big rating gap because this is during the FIDE Chess Olympiad of 2024. Team USA was playing, I don't know what team they were playing, but maybe Mexico. But they were playing, definitely playing a team, and this kind of rating mismatch happened because Levon was on board 4, and this is like, it's so crazy to think about, because if you're board 4 as a 2730 rated player on the Olympiad, your team is jacked. I mean, there's no other way to say it, right? But this game was to show that maybe the rating difference isn't crazy. E4, C5, Levon plays Sicilian, we get a quick Rossalimo, and if you guys have watched my game tournament 2 round 1 recap, you would have seen that I played knight f6, or my opponent played knight f6 in the Sicilian. And in that game I played e5, knight d5, knight c3, and it was a complicated game, but I did end up winning that game. If you haven't checked that recap out, make sure to check it out after this video. Knight c3, g6, e5, and now Levon plays knight h5. It's a very interesting sideline, or maybe not a sideline, but it's definitely a very interesting opening, where Levon hits e5, bishop g7, and it's kind of a edgy kind of system that you want to play against low-rated players because they might not know the position as well. Bishop c6, d6, castles, knight g7, d3, h6, knight e4, b6. I'm kind of rushing through these moves because it's a very straightforward plan. Levon regards the b6 pawn. Again, knight e4 is one of the main moves in this kind of opening, maybe rook e1, and there's potential sacrifices with knight f6 looming because the king is in the center. We get knight rook e1, knight f5, and now Andre builds on his plan. He wants to play c3, and he wants to play c3 because d4 will happen soon. And now Aronian plays g5, and he plays g5 because maybe g4 in the future, bishop g7, castles, finishing his development. Andre plays queen a4, attacking the c6 pawn. It's not very easy to guard it, because on one hand, you want to play b5. On the other hand, it looks terrible, because now you let c5 be very weak. You can't play e6, because you play g6, g5, and now knight f6 is juicy for your opponent. So, Levon Aronian plays queen c7, and he's losing in 12 moves. Yeah. 22 rated player is losing against, one of the best US chess players ever. And he's losing because g4, and you're going to lose a piece. Why are you going to lose a piece? Because if you go to h4 or g7, it's actually going to be the same scenario. If you go to h4, I mean, this kind of looks bad. And also, what is going to happen with knight g7? Carlsen sacrifices queen. Andre is going to sacrifice his knight. Because if you take on b6, I open up the rook. I did say earlier, right here, that there are potential rook e1, knight f6 sacrifices, right? So g4, and Levon has to abandon his piece. And he's down a piece. He is literally losing, right? But here's the thing. It's not so simple. Because we see in the next few moves that Levon tries to launch some sort of kingside attack. Knight g3, bishop h3, and maybe there might be some light squared weaknesses. And here Andre plays knight f1. And this was the start of things going wrong, and arguably this was where things went wrong. Because while he played knight f1 to attack the bishop, and maybe he thought g4 would happen, he would go back with the bishop. Levon said, nah, b5. Why is that so special? I'm going to simply queen a5. That was not what happened in the game. Why did that not happen in the game? Because Levon wasn't bored. I mean, Levon was bored. He didn't feel like just sacrificing a knight. He felt like sacrificing his bishop. Bishop b4. And if you take a pawn, bishop is gone, a knight is gone. What's another pawn? c5. Boom, bim, pow. Good luck. So now Andre has to play knight a5. What just happened? He was up a knight, and now he's down a pawn. And the best chess players sometimes are so cruel. And I'm just gonna tell you guys something. If you have a piece up against a top-rated player, most of us would screw it up, but you're not gonna get much chances when it's equal. And the level difference kind of shows. He baits the king out to the edge of the board, and here Andre resigns, white resigns, because there are going to be checkmate ideas looming. And, I mean, he was up a piece. That was so tough. And Levon Aronian was losing on move 13, and I'm sure his, compatriots was like, what is going on, Levon? But he pulls that rabbit out of the hat. We get to number 4. David Bronstein vs. Petrosian. This is going to be one game I'm not going to be very talkative because this is a very boring game. This is the 1964 Candidates, so about 50 years ago. So, not too old. We get e5. Petrosian is trying to play against this, play against the English by bolstering up his knight. Bishop h6, queen a5, and a lot of maneuvering happened in this game. We saw Bronstein go for a4, while Petrosian said, okay, you play a4, I'm going to look at the complete opposite side of the board and play h5. You gotta love it, right? h4, f5, knight d5, king h7, and we saw a lot of maneuvering. By the way, look at this. This man decided queen d8, queen h8. Complete other side of the board. e4 takes, knight d2, queen d7, knight e4. And a lot of maneuvering happened, and I'm going to skip to the part where Petrosian, actually in this game, pulled out a yo-yo. And he pulled out a yo-yo because he was very bored during the game. Obviously it's not what happened, but watch. Knight f5, knight g4. Knight c6, knight d4. Knight c6, knight d4. Knight f5, knight f5. Haha. This man just wasted 7 moves because white did nothing. That's hilarious to me. And here, Bronstein, seeing that his queen was under attack, played knight g5, going for the e6 square, and blundered his queen. This is insane. Welcome to the video. And to wrap it up, I mean, this is crazy. 37 move win for Petrosian. For the candidates, this is an insane moment. And we ended off with Surya Ganguly against Mukhiddin Madaminov. Very tough Uzbekistan name. And we get a scotch here. Surya Ganguly was white, and this is in the World Rapid and Blitz. This is the World Rapid in 2023. We got Scotch, Queen f6, a new line. Not a new line, but it's not either Knight f6, Bishop c5, a lot of different options. Queen f6, and now Ganguly kind of strays away from the main line, Bishop b3, and puts Knight f3. That's fine. Bishop b4 and Bishop c5. We get Bishop d3 from Ganguly, developing his pieces, and here Mukhiddin offered a draw. Or sorry, he offered an exchange of knights. And Ganguly said, okay, I'm going to take the knight, because if you take back, I'm actually going to castle, and the thing is, I'm king h1, f4, and you're just going to get rolled in the center. So we took the knight. Sui Ganguly, 2600 rated player, took the knight. And in 8 moves, he loses. Queen f2 checkmate. Oh my dang. And yeah, that is crazy. For the World Rapid and Blitz, GMs are humans too. And that's kind of going to conclude the video. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to let me know in the comments. If you guys want a part 2, let me know in the comments. It's kind of a nice video to kind of share that. All GMs are also humans, right? There's a top 1% of chess players. But sometimes the game just gets the best of them. Opponents get the best of them. And we saw a mate in 1 blunders. We saw mate in 2 blunders. We saw piece blunders. We saw everything. And if you guys want a part 2, let me know in the comments. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you guys haven't already, turn on the notifications. And until next time, this is Rampage and Rooks signing out. See you guys.